Good morning, people. How are we all doing? You know it, I'm out for my morning steps. Seems like I'm starting a lot of these videos in the same scenario, but I mean, they're as good an opportunity as any to start these videos, considering I'm on my lonesome and, you know, listening to podcasts is nice, but talking to you guys is better. So a bit of a prep update for this week. So tomorrow, which is Sunday, which is the day you're probably watching this, I'm 10 weeks out. So exciting times, and I would say things are starting to get a little bit difficult. So my weight this week, I've pretty much solidified that I'm in the low 84s, which is fantastic. Brad has mapped out the next few weeks in terms of what my projected rate of loss should be. So we're going to be aiming for about 400 grams of weight loss over the next 10 weeks or so. To try get me down to that like 79 kilo mark. So my average weight loss this week has been about 300 grams, so it's a little bit kind of under what we are expecting so far. I do have a high day today, so my weight is probably going to go up tomorrow. Usually goes up after a high day, like, you know, increased carbs, more glycogen, more water, so my body weight goes up. But the last 2 weeks, you know, we've averaged pretty much a kilo of weight drop over like each week. So, you know, maybe there won't be any kind of bad news for me in my check-in on Monday. Maybe there will, but look, we'll have to see. So yeah, prep is getting a little bit difficult now. I will say this last week, my energy has not been the same. So we had a big food drop last week down to 2300, and there have been a couple of days this week where my energy has just been really poor. Like Monday was my kind of main busy check-in day. I felt dead all day. I felt pretty dead yesterday. I have had an upper body deload, thankfully, so that was kind of nice. Like, it's funny because like during training I'm actually feeling really good. Like my energy in sessions, like when I actually get going, is quite good. However, during them, before or leading up to them, I'm like, oh, the last thing I want to do is go here and train. And you know, there has been a lot of kind of mental games, I suppose, being played at the moment with myself in that regard. Because yeah, I mean, like having low energy is shit, right? And I mean, there's lots that we can do to try to mitigate like the low energy, low hunger, or the high hunger as well. Like I'm definitely feeling a lot hungrier this week, which is good. I mean, like, in a sense, right, if I have low energy and I'm feeling quite hungry, I can be pretty sure that like what I'm doing like is gonna be working. So yeah, I know if I am feeling hungry, if my energy is low, you know, this thing that I'm doing is surely gonna be working. Like, I mean, it's the cost of doing business. Okay, so if you're dieting down to essential levels of body fat, like, your body's going to fight you back, and it's going to tell you need to slow down and not expend as much energy, and it's going to tell you that you need to eat more food because you are running out of stored energy. And you know, I think if you are in a diet, right, choose to be in a diet, if you choose to have a goal of dropping body fat, like, these are things that you do have to expect. You have to expect that you are going to crave foods that you want. You have to expect that you're going to have low energy at times. You're going to expect that you are not going to want to act on the things that are going to get you towards your goal. And like, as I mentioned already, you know, this is something that I am choosing. Like, nobody's forcing me to do a bodybuilding competition, and I'm extremely privileged to be able to do something like this. There's people in the world who are, by no choice of their own, starving, you know, and they don't have the opportunity to walk to the fridge like I do and, you know, take out whatever food they want and eat it. I have those choices. And now when it comes to dieting, like, you'll have seen from last week with my full day of eating, you know, you can try and mitigate like hunger and low energy as best as possible. You know, having lean protein at every meal, having a decent amount of fruit and veg throughout the day, you know, spacing your meals out appropriately. Like, these are all things that will contribute to you having like better energy from the food sources that you're getting, as well as like lower hunger, okay, because you're pretty much like nailing nutritional variables to accomplish that. However, you know, your body is still going to fight you back, and so we can limit this suffering through means like that. Okay, we can limit again by, you know, making our environment a little bit easier for us to kind of stick to our diet, making sure that we don't have any trigger foods in the house that we may overconsume on. We can improve our environment by, you know, having a supportive friend group or, you know, supportive partner like I do. But at the end of the day, there is still going to be some level of that suffering. And, you know, the easy choice that we can make when we do feel like we have a craving, the easy choice that we can make when we feel like we're hungry, is just satisfy that and have some food. All right, or if we are low energy, have low energy, the easy thing to do would be to not go to the gym. When we've no motivation, don't go to the gym, don't do your steps. All right, that's the easy thing to do. However, while you're picking the easy choice there, you are also creating more suffering for yourself further down the line, okay? Because the suffering that comes after you making those decisions is you have now essentially casted a vote against the person that you are trying to become, because you're not acting in accordance with the kind of goals or values that maybe you have, or the goals that you've set. Sure, I can have food whenever I want, okay? I can decide that I don't want to go to the gym. You decide I don't want to do my steps. However, I'm keeping very accountable here. I've got a coach. I'm talking to you guys every single week. I'm trying to set an example to both myself of what I can do and what I can accomplish when I put my mind to it, but also trying to show that to other people too. Because like at the end of the day, I'm just a normal person. Like anybody can do something like this if they really put their minds to it and they embrace some short-term delay of gratification, as well as some short-term suffering. The suffering that would be involved with me kind of giving in to these feelings would be that I would be going against a lot of my values. The suffering that would be involved for me for acting on these temporary feelings that are gonna go. Okay, hunger is always gonna go. Once you get to that next meal, it could be an hour, that's all you have to do. Wait, make yourself busy. Cravings, again, they're fleeting. It's like motivation. It doesn't stay for too long. You just have to ride the wave and get through it. Low energy, again, something you just have to face. And, it's, again, something that's fleeting. It does come back in short bursts. But the suffering that would be involved for me kind of acting on these very short-term feelings would be me turning up on a show day, not being ready, would be me sitting there having some form of kind of guilt or shame for giving in to such temporary feelings, and like having that extra bit of food or skipping that gym session, that just, while it may seem like something very difficult to do at the time, just simply would not be worth it. So they're the kind of things I am thinking about, and they're the kind of things you should really be thinking about when it does come to the kind of harder days that you do have, because you're gonna have them. You want to think about when you have accomplished that goal, like the things you've had to endure, the things you've had to do to get towards that part, okay? And I think like people love to set goals, like I love to set goals myself. However, we rarely think about the actual obstacles that we will face on the way there and how we are going to deal with them. Because yes, as Mike Tyson says, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And it's very true, okay? If you crumble at the first sign of like low motivation or low energy, you really have to rethink your goal and rethink your strategy. Because realistically, if that is the case, you probably have a pretty weak strategy, and you may have a very weak motivator for actually pursuing the goal. Like my motivator for pursuing this goal is very intrinsic. I'm not doing it for anybody else but myself. Of course, there is some external motivators, you get people egging you on, and people watching these videos, and social credit, I suppose, to an extent. But at the end of the day, a few likes on Instagram is not going to keep me going. There's other things that are kind of deeply embedded into this goal, which make it way easier for me to be consistent. So yeah, it's a bit of a ramble there, but I hope it gives you some kind of insight as to how you should approach the hard days, because they're coming, and the way you deal with them is going to dictate whether you get to your goal or not. Okay, so yeah, I'm off to a water park today. It's going to be fun, nice fun prep activity, since going out for food and drinking are not options. So going to a water park today, which should be fun, and might show you some clips when I get there. And yeah, that's pretty much the extent of the prep update. So not much movement in terms of the body weight. Well, 300 grams or so. Things are getting a little bit more difficult. I'm having to give myself motivational talks more often, and yeah, that's it. I'll catch you in the next clip, if there is one. Alright, so this is some of the short-term suffering that I was telling you about. So obviously I'm going to that water park today, and the easy thing for me to do would be to not meal prep, right? Because I hate meal prep and I just don't enjoy it, right? But the unnecessary suffering that would cause me is that I go to the water park, I'm really, really hungry, and the food choices there are not in line with what I should be eating, because like food over here, especially in Spain, is like relative, like it contains a lot of fat, right? It's gonna be a lot higher in calories. They use a lot of oil, and even looking at the actual food places they do have in the water park, they don't really have much macro friendly options. A lot of rolls, a lot of burgers. They don't have any fillet steaks on the menu, And look, I'm at the stage of prep where just eating out is just not a good option because I can't track it like accurately, and I need to be accurate because I have a very set target that I need to hit, and you know, it's just better if I can be in as control of as much variables as I can. So gonna do some quick meal prep. I'm gonna make 2 meals, right? And I'm just gonna make them the exact same for the sake of convenience. And it's not gonna take me much time at all, right? This entire meal I'm gonna make here, 2 meals, is gonna take me max 15 minutes, right? So I'm gonna have chicken, so I'm gonna have 130 grams of chicken in both meals. I'm gonna have 300 grams of potato in both meals. And I'm gonna have a mix of green beans and kidney beans. Okay, so 2 veg sources, starchy carb, and then as well lean protein source, right? Gonna cook this in the air fryer, these in the microwave, and these in the pan. Right, it's gonna take me tops 15 minutes. My watch here is just before 10, so let's see how long it takes. So there you have it, people, 20 minutes, not 15. So apologies to those who couldn't spend another 5 minutes on doing some meal prep. I'm looking to state my watch. Thank God this is only a tenner. But yeah, so 2 meals made, you know, very simple. Potatoes, green beans, add some grated carrot as well, some kidney beans and chicken. Season the potato with some salt, pepper, chili powder, chili flakes, as well as some garlic salt. And yeah, that'll be my 2 meals now for when I'm out and about, which will make sure that I stick towards my goals and keep myself nice and satisfied. So yeah, it doesn't have to take long, doesn't have to be too fancy, it just has to get the job done. Time to beat up some kiddies. So I am about to do this slide here, vertigo. Apparently it's the biggest slide in Europe. Let's go.
There he goes. Off to his death.
Ну что, ждите. Да, сразу красную включите. Ana, adiós, adiós. Bueno, la cámara no la
Emma, do you have fun?
I did have fun. I'm very hot.
2 of us staying on track. Ice cold Coke Zero. Hot sauce, gotta bring it everywhere with you if you do have meal prep. Absolute key. Anyway, that pretty much wraps up today's video. A relaxing enough day, boring enough prep update, but you know, they're not all exciting weeks. Next week, I do have some things going on, which I haven't talked about on here just yet. So you'll find out next week, the next week's prep update. So yeah, catch you later.